Hello everyone and welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're here for the Bandit Reloaded Racing League Vegas Strong 100. Currently we have 4 minutes and 28 seconds left in practice. Before our race gets started, the first thing we'll do is look at our current point standings. The number 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr. sitting at the top of the leaderboard with 4 wins on the season. Only missed out on the win on one race. That one went to Nick Nickerson, who is second in points, just 9 points behind with 221 points as opposed to 230. Here's your top 14. If we look at page 2, here we see 15 through 27 in points. And also look at our track info for tonight, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Oval here in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. Mile and a half, just barely over a mile and a half, 4 turns, 20-degree banking. Your weather for tonight, clear skies, 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the air, track temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 0% humidity, and just a 2-mile-per-hour wind. Currently in practice, Nick Nickerson at the top of the leaderboard with the 29.862, followed by the 29 of Robert Mathis, Tyler Rowland, Garrett Hall, and Ricky Hart Jr. Tonight there is going to be a bounty out on Ricky Hart Jr. $50 reward if he gets beaten, only tonight here at Las Vegas. Obviously, though, if there is any contact and the race director thinks it's anything other than a racing incident, it will be void. But if anyone tonight can beat Ricky Hart Jr., they're going to get $50. As Ricky has won at Phoenix Auto Club, Atlanta, and Daytona. Right now we're going to take a look at Ricky heading around for practice. He goes under the number 8 car of Kevin Foster. We're going to go ahead and ride on board with him for a few laps. You can see how this Las Vegas Motor Speedway runs. We have just under 2 minutes left in practice. All right, qualifying getting ready to start here. We're going to have 5 minutes for qualifying. First driver out is going to be Willie Evernham. Number 19, stand up to Cancer car. Number 19, stand up to Cancer Camaro. Also on the track, points leader, number 64, Ricky Hart Jr. And your number 32, Dude Wipes Mustang of Terry Condis. Follow that number 19 stand up to Cancer car. It's completed 1 lap. Right now, the number 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. sitting at the top of the board. No surprise there. With a lap of 30.334. Willie Evernham, number 19 car, taking that pole position right now. But with only 3 drivers putting a time down, I'm sure that will change with 3 minutes to go. Looking at the number 33 car of Zach Hillman right now. The Bandit Reloaded Camaro. It's number 39 of James Healy. Taking a look at the 29 of Robert Mathis. The Sundrop Wooden Spoon car. Let's also take a look at the number 10 car of Matt Crockett. As soon as he finishes his qualifying lap, I'm going to see if we can get him on the radio. Here at Las Vegas tonight, this is a very important event for him. As you see, he's sponsored by Vegas Strong. I'll let him tell you guys about that in just a few minutes, though. You see Nick Nickerson in number 2 car has taken the pole position away from the 19 with a time of 30.225. Still plenty of time for some of these guys, though, to see if they can knock him off. You've seen Nickerson. He's had a fast car all year, and I'm sure that won't be changing today. He's looking to get that bounty from Ricky Hart Jr. As you see Hart all the way down to 4th, now 5th position. But he doesn't always seem to be the best qualifier. Definitely always shows up once we get on into the race, though. And you're looking at the number 99 car, the Folds of Honor Mustang. It's going to be Brandon Jackson. You watched him a couple times last week dealing with a very loose race car, and he drove it till he couldn't drive it anymore, spun it once, had to use his fast repair. But definitely a great driver of a loose race car right there. So let's switch over to the number 43 car. That's Tyler Rowland, the Chick-fil-A Mustang. Now the number 8 car, Kevin Foster, on the track. We only have 30 seconds left. I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can get Matt Crockett to come in here and talk for you guys. All right, as qualifying wraps up and we head to grid, with me I've got Matt Crockett, the driver of your number 10 car. This is a very important race for him at Las Vegas. You saw Vegas Strong on his car. So if you want to just tell us a little bit about what Las Vegas and Vegas Strong means to you.
It means a lot, actually. I was born and raised in Las Vegas. Been to this track multiple times. And the Vegas Strong means a lot to me because the fact is I did have a friend that went to the October 1st, concert, and he didn't make it home that night. He was killed, and had a bunch of friends that went and made it home. So I specifically wanted this track and this name for this race.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for sharing that story with us. I'm sure it means a great deal to you, and I have put the link to your GoFundMe down in the description of my YouTube page. So if anybody watching wants to look at that is in the description of this YouTube video.
Absolutely, and a little bit here and there. Probably going to shut it down the next day or two. It's just for this race and kind of just for everybody that was affected, friends, family, anybody and everybody. We're all Vegas Strong, and we're all here to help.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for hopping in the booth with me, and good luck today here at Las Vegas. Have a good run for us.
Thank you so much, Evan. I appreciate everything you do, bud.
Yes, sir. All right, that was your number 10 car of Matt Crockett. Now, as we look at the grid, I popped it up on screen while he was talking, but let's look at it again. Starting on the pole, your number 2 car of Nick Nickerson. Second place on the outside row, the 29 of Robert Mathis, followed by the 43 of Tyler Rowland, the 35 of Wesley Fuller, 13 of Garrett Hall, 19 of Willie Evernham, 1 of Daniel Grice, 64 of Ricky Hart Jr., 99 of Brandon Jackson, and the 39 of James Healy. If we look at page 2, we've got Trey Ellis, Kevin Foster, Zach Hillman, Terry Condis, Brandon Trogdon, and Matt Crockett. Following along with these guys, not surprising to see the number 2 car of Nick Nickerson out front. Not his first pole of the year, and I'm sure it won't be his last. Definitely a very, very fast qualifier. And he's got 1 race win. Like I said before, definitely going to be trying to get that bounty and beating Ricky Hart Jr. tonight. See if I can get our ticker pulled up here at the top. You notice our presenting sponsor of the race tonight is going to be Vegas Strong. You see it up there in the top right corner. And we're green. Nick Nickerson leading the field to green. Fairly good jump on Robert Mathis, the 29 in the outside row. 43 of Tyler Rowland, the Chick-fil-A Mustang, directly behind Nickerson. As they fan out behind him. Rowland going to look to the outside. See the number 13 car of Garrett Hall making a move on the inside of the 29 of Robert Mathis. Trying to move himself up to 3rd place here as we have 1 lap completed at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 43 again looking to the outside lane. Nickerson staying on the inside. There's a couple of these guys fanning out. I believe we have 3 wide. If we look back in the pack, they decided not to hold that though. Very quickly gave that position up. Don't want to risk anything on lap 2 of 100 here.
Looks like we caught the car up into the wall. 39, James Healy.
See if we can take a look at that. Head to an instant replay here. Follow the number 39 car. Was loose a corner before, and he just got very loose there. Up into the wall, but not too bad, I don't believe.
We also had a big save from Daniel Grice there on the backstretch of lap 2. Looks like he's recovered.
You look at the number 1 car of Daniel Grice in 13th position as of right now, just completed lap 5. And obviously the voice you guys are hearing, same guy with us last week. My name is Evan Wall, and I've got Brett with me. Just want to make sure everybody knows who you're hearing. We're still looking at the number 1 car of Daniel Grice. Let's head up to the front. Follow the 2 of Nick Nickerson with Tyler Rowland closely behind. A little bit of a gap back to Garrett Hall. But Rowland putting some pressure on Nickerson.
Some of the things I've noticed from taking a few laps around the track here earlier, for a few laps they'll be very close together. After say 5 laps, the tires will start to wear out. You'll see the cream rise to the crop. You also see some of the guys that are able to manage the bumps a little bit better in 1 and 2. If you notice here, as they go through 1 and 2, they go over these little patches over in the middle of about lane 2 of the corner. If you tend to run a little bit lower than the patches, then you may be able to skirt your way by. But if you run on the second lane, you're not as likely to manage those patches as well.
Very good input there for Brett. Really appreciate him being in the booth, especially as he was able to run some practice laps, and some quick practice laps at that. Always up near the top of the board when it comes to practice. Number 35 of Wesley Fuller putting a little bit of pressure on Garrett Hall. He's caught up to the back of him. The 99 of Brandon Jackson not too far behind him in 5th place.
He actually started back at 9th place. He's already up to 5th. Looks like he's doing what he did last week where he's driving up through the field. So we got a battle for the lead. Tyler Rowland taking over the top spot.
Good. Let's see if we can head to instant replay, see if we can watch that pass. Have to head a little bit further back.
Looks like he got a run out of 2 and just dragged him down the backstretch.
He did a great run for Rowland, able to take that top spot away from Nickerson.
We also got a battle for 4th place. We got Brandon Jackson heading under, trying to take that 4th spot away, and he does over Wesley Fuller.
He's able to do it. Brandon Jackson heading to the front again.
Also our points leader there at 6th, the number 64 of Ricky Hart Jr., trying to make a move on the high side.
Ricky Hart Jr.
crossover.
See, started in 8th position, and all the way up to 6th, and working on 5th. Into 5th now, at least for a second.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed, it's very hard to keep it on the bottom, especially if you're underneath somebody.
See the number 4 car, Trey Ellis, looks like he wants to get by the 35 and the 64, but not any room to do so yet.
Yeah, you see Ricky Hart getting a little arrow tight. Can't manage to make the pass very easily. He does take that 5th position.
Now the 4 car trying to make a move on the 35 of Fuller.
A few laps back, looks like Nick Nickerson retook the lead there.
We did, we must have missed that one. See Garrett Hall in the 13 up into 2nd position, just past the 43 of Rowland.
We got P2 and P3 there in points. We got Nick Nickerson He is 9 points back of Ricky Hart Jr. in the point standings, and we have Garrett Hall. He is about 26 points back as they stand in the overall points championship. These two will be battling it out all race.
Ricky Hart Jr. back in 5th position. I'm sure he'll be up there near the front very soon, making moves on people. See, heads high that time, a lot higher than some of these guys are running. Garrett Hall keeps gaining on Nickerson. It's now lap 15 of 100 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 15 laps down now as Nickerson passes the finish line. Let's go ahead and ride on board with number 13 of car of Garrett Hall in 2nd position. The 2 of Nick Nickerson in front of him, and the 43 of Tyler Rowland directly behind.
See Tyler Rowland there all over him in his mirror. He's looking to the inside. You can see that Chick-fil-A car in his mirror as he ducks low.
And Rowland gets by him.
Yep, almost come together there, but they managed to make the pass.
13 had to check up a little bit, I believe. But Rowland's still able to manage the pass.
All of that battling has allowed Brandon Jackson as well as Ricky Hart Jr. to close in.
Yeah, both of them much closer than they were. It's also allowed Nick Nickerson to step away just a little bit. Out in front a little bit more than he was. Tyler Rowland half a second back from Nickerson. Hall only 0.2 back from Rowland.
As we watch these front runners, we should be seeing them making pit stops somewhere in the next 10 laps.
What do you think pit strategy is going to be here today, Brett?
If we're basing it off of tire wear, they have 2 sets of tires here today, or 3 sets I mean, the ones they start with, and then 2 tire changes. If they want to do an undercut, they could possibly pit before lap, say, 33, if this race was to go completely green, and they may gain some time on their other competitors, but I think you'll see some people come in somewhere around lap 30 to 33. That's my guess.
So we're watching the 64 and the 99 battling it out a little bit. It's very competitive racing from them as you see the 13 under the 43 now. Now the 64 up above Rowland. Ricky Hart Jr. trying to make a move for that 3rd position. I believe he's going to have it down the back straightaway.
As these tires wear out, it looks like the high side is able to prevail, unlike at the beginning of these runs. As the tires wear out, that high side tends to be more prevalent.
See, the 64 was already running the high side. He's been running the high side most of this race from what we've seen him. Whereas 43 of Rowland and some of these other guys have stayed down low. Ricky Hart Jr. all the way up to 3rd position now. Started in 8th, as you can see. Now trying to make a move on the number 13 of Garrett Hall for 2nd position. The number 2 of Nick Nickerson in 1st place has checked out a little bit on the field. 0.6 seconds ahead of second place Garrett Hall. See the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. going high now.
Yep, Ricky Hart Jr. looking to the high side. Might be trying to get to his right rear quarter panel. He actually ducks low here.
Be side by side into the corner. See who gets the momentum out.
I think Garrett Hall is going to make it a little bit difficult for him. He's just going to ride next to him here on that high side and not allow him to get enough momentum to get past him.
Definitely making it difficult on Ricky Hart Jr. They're still side by side. It's Brandon Jackson sticking his nose in there now.
Another reason they might be trying to make it hard is we've got that bounty system working tonight.
We do $50 for anyone who can beat the number 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr.
It's Brandon Jackson ducks low underneath of Ricky Hart Jr. Not able to prevail.
Ricky Hart Jr. now solely with the second place position. Brandon Jackson in third. Tyler Rowland and Garrett Hall fighting for fourth, and it looks like Rowland's going to have it as he ducks in front of Hall.
Looks like Garrett Hall thought better to save his tires for this part of the run. He's faded back a little bit, just trying to follow these guys for now.
He only lapped 26 of 100, so still plenty of time left in the race. Plenty of time to make moves. Only back down to 5th position right now, so not too far back from your leaders. Take a look at Nick Nickerson still out front and driving away right now 0.733 seconds ahead of Ricky Hart Jr. in second place.
I think we may see Ricky Hart Jr. close in a little bit on Nick Nickerson. I think Nick Nickerson's running a pretty steady pace, but Ricky Hart Jr. is really pushing the issue right here, especially on old tires. He looks really good.
It definitely wouldn't surprise me for sure to see Ricky Hart Jr. heading up to the front before too long. That seems to usually be how it works. He qualifies just a little bit back. Before long, he heads out front, and he tends to stay there. You look at Ricky Hart Jr. last lap, he ran a 31.685. Best lap of the session was a 30.213. So you can definitely see that his lap times have gone down, but he's still running some very quick times as he is on the back of Nickerson now. Very quickly caught Nickerson.
To the back bumper. Looks like Nick Nickerson's heading into the pits.
He is. He's going to be your first taker down pit road today.
Skids to a stop.
See down to 56, 57, 58 miles an hour on pit road. In the first pit stall. See, a couple guys have already pitted. The 13 of Garrett Hall, 29 of Robert Mathis, and the 11 of Bill Harkins have already pitted. Those guys listed in 15,
Brandon
16.
Jackson, as well as, I believe, Tyler Rowland on pit road.
James Healy as well. Are you seeing Tyler Rowland? Right behind him, Brandon Jackson. Behind him, the 69 car of Brandon Trogdon. 33 of Zach Hillman. 35 of Wesley Fuller. 32 of Terry Condis. And the 1 of Daniel Grice, all on pit road right now. You see Brandon Jackson getting his service.
Ricky Hart Jr., your leader, coming down pit road. He runs about 1 lap longer than the rest of the leaders, as Nick Nickerson, I believe, was the first one down pit road.
Let's just see the race off here. A bunch of guys heading off pit road right now. See Ricky Hart still on. There's the number 19 car. Stand up to cancer car heading in to get his service. He's currently your leader. Ricky Hart Jr. will be your leader right now as he heads off pit road.
He's headed off pit road as Nick Nickerson's going down the front stretch. We'll see who beats who out on pit exit.
We're looking at Nickerson, who passes the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. right there, and Nickerson is going to regain your lead. Ricky Hart
What
Jr.
you see right there is the gap gained on new tires. New tires is probably equate for about a second, and that's what you're seeing right there. Maybe in plus change. I think he pitted 2 laps before Ricky Hart Jr.
I believe so, something like that. See now Garrett Hall in the 13 car. Gonna have your second position, just barely got in front of Ricky Hart Jr. I believe Garrett Hall pitted 1 lap after Nick Nickerson, whereas Ricky pitted 2 laps after. Nickerson is now 3 seconds ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. One thing to keep an eye on over this run is watch Ricky Hart Jr. Prevail on the long run. He has 2 lap fresher tires and over Nick Nickerson, as well as 1 lap fresher tires over most of the rest of the field. So as this run goes on, he should get stronger and stronger.
He definitely should. He seems to always do very well on the long runs.
As I said earlier, Nick Nickerson is 9 points back in the point standings, trying to gain any points that he can over Ricky Hart Jr. And best way to do that is win races.
For sure, definitely not surprised to see Nick Nickerson up at the front. He always tends to be up at the front, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was up at the front at the end this time.
It's actually the only other winner this season.
Yep. See Garrett Hall closing the gap to Nick Nickerson, the number 13 car. He's now 1 second back from Nickerson. Is Brandon Jackson listed in your 3rd position. He's 2 seconds back from Nickerson. Behind him, the 29 car of Robert Mathis. And then we have the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr., who fell all the way to 5th place. Behind him, there's the number 43 of Tyler Rowland, your Chick-fil-A Mustang. Heading to the inside of Ricky Hart Jr. He's going to pass him, Ricky Hart Jr., all the way back to 6th position. 7th, Trey Ellis, your number 4. 8th place, number 19, Stand Up to Cancer car, Willie Evernham. 9th, 33, Zach Hillman. 10th, Kevin Foster, see on top of Terry Condis in the 32. He's in 11th position. 12th place, Matt Crockett in the Vegas Strong car. 13th, the 69 of Brandon Trogdon, fighting with the 35 of Wesley Fuller. You see Fuller taking 13th position away from Trogdon. Trogdon now in 14th. In 15th position, number 1 car of Daniel Bryce. 16th, 11 of Bill Harkins. The special paint scheme for him as well. Then in 17th position, the number 39 car of James Healy. As we look back at the lead, Brandon Jackson, your new leader, in the 99 car, followed by the 13 of Garrett Hall, the 29 of Robert Mathis, and then finally in 4th position, fighting for 4th position, is now going to be Tyler Rowland. 5th, Nick Nickerson.
Not sure what is really going on, but maybe these guys are saving gas or something. Maybe him and Ricky Hart Jr. have been off the pace for the last few laps, so maybe they know something we don't.
Maybe they do. If Nick Nickerson and Ricky Hart Jr. are both doing something, then I'm sure it's important. I'm sure they're both doing something good.
As the 4 car of as Trey Ellis passes number 64 Ricky Hart Jr.
Good.
Yeah, over the last few laps, Ricky Hart Jr. has been off the pace 6-7 tenths of a second.
We head to Ricky Hart Jr., who's in 7th position. Last lap, 31.808. Best lap, 30.2. So definitely off the pace some. Or off the pace a pretty good bit, actually. If we look at Nickerson, last lap was 31.9. Best was a 30.193. Nickerson now down to 5th place. I believe this is the lowest that he's been all race. Started on the pole. And you look at Brandon Jackson, who's your current leader, started all the way back in 9th. Lowest position was 9th where he started, worked his way all the way up after the pit stops. Now out in front of the field in 1st position. Lap 41 of 100 right now 42 of 100. So definitely still plenty of time for these other guys, but Brandon Jackson trying to cash in on that bounty, taking the win away from Ricky Hart Jr.
One of the things we'll have to pay attention to over the next 20 laps is how far can they go on fuel. If they pit it somewhere around lap 60, we're not sure if they can actually make it all the way on fuel. They might have to make a quick splash and dash here at the end of the race.
It's very interesting. You see 99 of Brandon Jackson now catching up to your 7th position, Bill Harkins in the 11 car. Very bright car, the 11. Let's follow along with your number 99 car as he catches this 11.
Only Action Jackson would have an interior for his car like this.
His interior looks about like the outside of that 11 car. Definitely very bright. You see passing the 35 on the inside. Sketchy situation here. 3 wide for your leader. Bill Harkins on the inside and Daniel Grice on the outside. Both of them lapped cars. Making it through cleanly, though. Let's head back. Watch number 13 car of Garrett Hall as he catches these guys. See how he's able to manage both of these lapped cars. See the 11 of Bill Harkins running the inside line, the 1 of Daniel Grice running the outside. Hall's going to be to the inside of Grice. Going to cleanly pass him. Now coming up on the 11 of Bill Harkins, and Bill Harkins will let him have the inside here. This is Brandon Jackson, still your leader. Best lap of 30.163. Fastest lap of the race is going to belong to the number 39 car of James Healy. Oh no, I'm sorry. The 32 car of Terry Condis, I believe, is going to have your fastest lap right now of the race. You see the number 8 car of Kevin Foster, currently listed as 2 laps down, getting his lap back. Foster, the only driver to have hit it twice. Here you see Kevin Foster, last pit stop was 1 lap ago, so he just now pitted. Went 2 laps down, but able to take his lap back from the 99 car of Brandon Jackson. So he's your first driver to pit twice. We'll see if anybody follows suit here shortly. Looking at the 99 of Brandon Jackson. Last time he pitted was 20 laps ago. Jackson now catching some more lap traffic. It should be the number 69 car of Brandon Trogdon up in front of him, as well as the 39 of James Healy. Jackson to the inside of the 69 Camaro, unable to cleanly get by him. We head back through the field, now halfway through the race. Second place, the 13 of Garrett Hall still in the Black Lives Matter Mustang. Third place, the 43, Tyler Rowland, your Chick-fil-A Mustang. Behind him, the 29 of Robert Mathis, the Wooden Spoon Sundrop Mustang. Go back a little bit, the number 4 car of Trey Ellis, the freaky fast Jimmy John's Mustang. Behind him, your pole sitter, the number 2 car, Nick Nickerson. With a little bit of pressure from the 33 of Zach Hillman. Behind him, that's a battle for 6th. As Nickerson is in 6th, Hillman is in 7th. So the 33 Bandit Reloaded car looking for the outside lane. Let's follow along with this, see if he can make the pass happen on the outside. Able to do it. Zach Hillman will be up to 6th position. Nick Nickerson down to 7th. And back in 8th, we have the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr., who has won most of the races this season. He has won 4 out of 5 races, all the way back down to 8th position now. Like Brett said earlier, though, he may be saving gas. That may be what him and Nick Nickerson are doing. Maybe trying to stretch this out a little bit. 9th position, the number 10 car of Matt Crockett with the beautiful Vegas Strong paint scheme here at Las Vegas. 10th place, the 19 of Willie Evernham with the stand-up to Cancer Camaro. Back in 11th, the 32 car of Terry Condis, the Dude Wipes Mustang. 12th, the 39 of James Healy. Then in 13th, the number 1 car of Daniel Grice, first car 1 lap down. See, he has a little bit of damage, I believe, to that right side. He's going to be now your second car a lap down, as Action Jackson has put Garrett Hall 1 lap down. In 14th position, the 8 of Kevin Foster, who is your last car 1 lap down, has pitted twice. Behind him in 15th position, the 69 of Brandon Trogdon, the first car 2 laps down.
Haven't seen any of the top 5 pit yet, but I've seen some of the mid-pack runners pit so far. So we should see these guys come down pit road relatively soon.
Yeah, so far, Garrett Hall, number 13, the 8 of Kevin Foster, 69 of Brandon Trogdon, 11 of Bill Harkins, and the 35 of Wesley Fuller have all pitted twice.
Got a 29 of Robert Mathis coming down pit road.
As is the number 2 of Nick Nickerson heading down pit road right now. Nickerson now down to 13th position. Brandon Jackson still your leader, not taking advantage of pit road yet. Nickerson now going to be going off in 13th position. See the Sundrop car on as well, Robert Mathis. Now from the lead, Brandon Jackson in the pit lane, giving up your lead to the 43 car of Tyler Rowland. Followed in second by Trey Ellis and Zach Hillman in third. See Brandon Jackson heading into his pit stall, as is Ricky Hart Jr. coming down pit road as well in the Materia Tattoo Camry. Almost said Camaro. There's a lot of Camaros here. There's the 39 of James Healy down pit road as well. Your leader now.
What we're noticing.
Oh, go ahead.
I think what we're noticing here is the fuel window is somewhere around 28 laps. So, based on this, Brandon Jackson's run to lap 29. Now it's a lap somewhere around lap 57. So we should see these guys come in somewhere around in a fuel window of 27 to 29 laps from what we've been seeing here.
We're looking at Brandon Jackson in the 99 right now, down to 7th position.
That will mean that they will have to make one more stop to end this race.
Tyler Rowland now down on pit road, as is the 4 car of Trey Ellis and the 33 of Zach Hillman. 32 of Terry Condis heading down pit road as well. This should be everybody except for the 10 of Matt Crockett, who is your current leader. Making this run go a little bit long. And the 19 car of Willie Evernham. Those are your only 2 drivers who have not come in for their second pit stop, as you see the number 19 car coming down pit road right now, as is the number 10 car of Matt Crockett. So as of right now, everyone has either completed their second pit stop or is on pit road for their second pit stop.
As we cycle through, I believe Brandon Jackson will be your leader once all of these pit stops are made.
He should be. Brandon Jackson to the top. He is your current leader right now. Coming up on the number 32 car, the Dude Wipes Mustang. It's going to be Terry Condis that he is putting a lap down, I believe. They stand right now. Brandon Jackson, your leader. Behind him, the 13 of Garrett Hall, still not too far behind. Behind him, the 29 of Robert Mathis in the Sundrop car. They've got a couple lapped cars right there that they're dealing with. See the 39 car heading to the inside of Hall. Both the 39 and the 69. It's going to be James Healy and Brandon Trogdon. Both of them are 1 lap down. Now Robert Mathis passing Garrett Hall. That's for second position. Now Mathis trying to get by the 2 lap cars, the 39 and the 69. Both of them 1 lap down. The 69 car right there is going to be your second driver 1 lap down. First driver is the 32 of Terry Condis, who's in 12th position. And Robert Mathis able to do it. Robert Mathis moved cleanly into second position, following behind 99 of Brandon Jackson.
Looks like Brandon Jackson's having a hard time getting around the 32 of Terry Condis.
Yes, Terry Condis was in front of him. Then Jackson came up behind him, I believe, passed him for at least a second, and now Condis back out in front of Jackson, getting his lap back.
All that battling has allowed Robert Mathis to close in a bit.
As Robert Mathis a second behind Jackson.
What I think is a developing story over this race is who takes tires and when. I think the last stint you saw a couple of the leaders possibly take only 2 tires, maybe 0, maybe no tires, and that's potentially why their pace was off. For this particular stint, you might see some others take 2, possibly no tires at all, and their pace may suffer, and then others may have taken 4 in this stint, and they will start to move up in position.
That may be why the number 2 car of Nick Nickerson and the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. relinquished that lead. They may have wanted to save their tires to use later in the race. See the 29 of Robert Mathis now out front, taking the lead from the 99 of Brandon Jackson, and looking to close the gap on Terry Condis.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. Brandon Jackson took tires the first run. This stint, he did not take tires, I believe. So that is why he's falling back. Currently, he's in P2 now, with Robert Mathis moving up to the number 1 spot.
See Jackson now battling the 69 of Brandon Trogdon. Trogdon's going to have the inside line, and I believe we'll be able to get by him once they get on the back straightaway here. He is Brandon Jackson, still in second position, as the 69 car is a lap car. Jackson not giving up, back down to the inside, still fighting. Still fighting that 69, but he's not going to be able to do it. 69 car of Brandon Trogdon going to drive away. This is currently lap 69 of 100 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As we go back down through the field, the number 2 car of Nick Nickerson currently sitting in third. Back up to third. He is looking to pass the 39 car of James Healy 1 lap down. Healy will head to the outside, give Nickerson the position. Behind Nickerson, we have the number 13 of Garrett Hall sitting in 4th position. And in 5th, the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr.
Tyler Rowland heading down pit road. See what's up with him.
His 43 car.
Not sure his play on strategy, but we'll see how it works out for him.
He's currently listed in 10th position and falling. He's not getting any tires there. He's already heading off. Very quick pit stop for him. He's going to be back down to 13th position now. 14th. And listed as 1 lap down, so you can see on the outside of him. Garrett Hall and Ricky Hart Jr. battling for that 4th position. Ricky Hart Jr. kicked it up a notch. Now trying to get by the 13 on the outside lane. And he's going to make the pass happen. Ricky Hart Jr. all the way up to 4th position now. There you look at your leader is the 29 of Robert Mathis, followed by Brandon Jackson, Nick Nickerson, Ricky Hart Jr., and Garrett Hall in 5th place. Robert Mathis with a very large lead, a 4.683 second lead on Brandon Jackson. But Nickerson right on the tail of Jackson.
As I begin to think about what we just saw with Tyler Rowland, I look at the lap counter and realize lap 71, that's about the fuel window that we had said earlier. He might be trying to stretch us all the way on with the least amount of fuel at the end of the race.
Here we see the number 1 car of Daniel Grice heading down pit road as well. He will be getting tires right now, though.
I think we're going to see a lot of differing strategies. These guys are going to be trying to work any strategy they can, trying to work a way into having the highest pace over the next 30 laps, 26 laps.
There you see the number 13 car of Garrett Hall. He's going to be pitting from 5th place. He's going to be your 3rd driver on their 3rd pit stop. See Daniel Grice spending a long time on pit road. Not sure what's up with him. But there's
Brandon Jackson down pit road.
There's number 13 car of Garrett Hall. He is going to be getting tires. Here we're looking at Brandon Jackson.
This is going to be the final stop for all these guys. This is their money stop. They're going to have to get all they can get right here.
Lap 75 of 100 here at Las Vegas. See Brandon Jackson getting some tires. He goes 1 lap down right now by Robert Mathis, your current leader. As Robert Mathis comes up behind Terry Condis, the 32 car. Condis a little bit loose, maybe heading down pit road. I believe he is. He'll be heading down, as is Kevin Foster in the number 8 car, and Matt Crockett in your number 10 Vegas Strong car.
We're going to have to really pay attention over here. Some of these guys pitting early are eventually going to get out in front of some of the other competitors But over the course of the run, the new tires will start to prevail, and they'll gradually ease closer to each other. So we'll have to look at that when we see Brandon Jackson or Kevin Foster pit early, as well as Ricky Hart Jr. and Nick Nickerson pit late. We'll see them kind of converge here in over the next 20 so laps.
And we see the number 2 of Nick Nickerson heading down pit road. If we look at back to 7th position, the 43 car of Tyler Rowland. He's your second car 1 lap down, as 69 of Brandon Trogdon sitting in 6th position is your first car 1 lap down. But Tyler Rowland is your first car that has made his 3rd pit stop. Sitting behind him, the 99 of Brandon Jackson in 8th position, your second car that has made their 3rd pit stop.
We also have front runner Ricky Hart Jr. head down pit road.
He is just on pit road, pitting from 2nd position, made his way all the way up to 2nd. Robert Mathis still out front though in the 29 Sundrop Wooden Spoon Mustang. Right now, everyone except for your top 4 has been put a lap down. Robert Mathis, Zach Hillman, Willie Evernham, and Ricky Hart Jr., your only drivers on the lead lap as of right now, going through this pit cycle. As Ricky Hart Jr. is on pit road, he's heading off right now. Then you see on the outside of him, Brandon Jackson.
As we look here, I'm trying to see who eventually will cycle out as the leader. We still got Robert Mathis out in the lead, but as these pit cycle goes through, we might see names like Tyler Rowland and Ricky Hart Jr. pop up at the front.
It wouldn't surprise me now. Brandon Trogdon, your number 69 car on pit road. As is number 2 of Nick Nickerson back on pit road. Must be a problem for him as he has already pitted 3 times. This will be his 4th time down the pits. 33 of Zach Hillman also heading down pit road right now as well.
Looks like Tyler Rowland will be your leader as these pit cycle ends.
You see the 69 heading off pit road. Number 2 of Nick Nickerson still sitting in the pits. Long pit stop for him, so definitely something must be off with him. Hate to see that for your pole sitter and a guy who was running up front for a good bit of the race.
Yeah, not sure what the issue is. That maybe he had some damage that wouldn't let him come out of the pits, but it's cost him here. We'll have to make it up on the track.
Nickerson now off pit road on his 4th stop of the day. Very long pit stop for him. 55 seconds on pit lane and 30 seconds just in the pits.
That's going to put him at least a lap behind.
Currently sitting at 3 laps down right now. That is double the stop. Most of these 2-tire pit stops are 14 seconds to 15 seconds, so 30 seconds, double the time of a normal stop. That's really going to hurt him right there.
Yeah, certainly. He was looking to have a good night. He's trying to gain some points on Ricky Hart Jr. for our championship. He's currently 9 points out, but this may put him behind the 8 ball going into the next few weeks.
Right now, if you look at our standings, Robert Mathis, your only driver on the lead lap. Tyler Rowland in 2nd position, 1 lap down. Robert Mathis trying to push this as far as he can, but I believe he's definitely going to have to come into the pits at some point, as it is now lap 85 of 100.
What I think Robert Mathis is doing right here, he's banking on a caution. If caution comes out, he's sitting pretty, but if one doesn't come out, he may be... Oh, might have missed the pits. Actually, he made it into the pits.
He made it, but that was very
close.
very close. I believe that was the 33 car of Zach Hillman was on the inside of him there, a lap down, making it tough for him to get down onto pit road. Now Brandon Jackson, your new leader yet again in the number 99 Mustang.
Just a rundown of our top 4 Looks like Tyler Rowland is about half a second back. Ricky Hart Jr. 2.5 seconds back. And then Garrett Hall should be 4 seconds back from your leader, Brandon Jackson.
You see Brandon Jackson coming up on some lap traffic. The 11 of Bill Harkin and the 32 of Terry Condis. You see Robert Mathis right behind Brandon Jackson. In second position right now, Mathis is. So even though he pitted, he didn't fall back too much at all.
Now we only have 13 laps to go. Pay attention to that 64 car. He has fresher tires than the rest of these guys ahead of him. So he should be able to close this gap over the next 13 laps here to the finish.
Guys, we look at the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. Right now, 2.35 seconds back from the 99 of Brandon Jackson in the lead.
He had just gotten around Tyler Rowland there in the Chick-fil-A number 43.
Now
So
catching up to Robert Mathis. Working the outside lane on the number 29 car. I believe he's going to have it. He does. Ricky Hart Jr. up to second place. Trying to catch the 99 of Brandon Jackson right there.
It's like Brandon Jackson got a little bit loose on the entry of turn 3. Scooted up the track a little bit. It's allowing, all that is doing is allowing Ricky Hart Jr. to close in.
Ricky Hart Jr. right now 1 second behind Brandon Jackson. Definitely expect to see that gap close. Change our tickers here. You can see Ricky Hart Jr. now 0.6 seconds behind. It just updated right as I was about to say it. Ricky Hart Jr. in the 64, closing in on the 99 of Brandon Jackson. 10 laps to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, lap 90 of 100.
It was bound to happen. This is one of those Jaws sequence where the shark is closing in. So looks to the high side of Brandon Jackson down the front straightaway.
'64 trying to make something happen. 10 laps to go. Looking to the outside. We may be dealing with lap traffic here in a couple laps. Brandon Jackson still holding firm in first position right now.
If he can get to the right rear quarter panel, he's got him. He's got him pinned down right where he wants him.
The 64 has been really strong on this outside line, and he is going to have the lead as they cross the stripe right now.
As Brandon Jackson tries the side draft to keep him within distance.
9 laps
Dives
to go.
down low.
99 diving.
Ricky Hart Jr. prevails to P1.
Clearly with the lead right now. We'll see if these lap cars are going to be a problem, though. Right now, Brandon Jackson already almost half a second behind Ricky Hart Jr. He got the lead, and he's pulling away.
Well, we've seen this before.
Yeah, definitely looks familiar here. Definitely would not be surprised to see Ricky Hart Jr. get another win here tonight. Brandon Jackson already a second back behind Ricky Hart Jr.
Ricky Hart Jr. right here, he's just on cruise control. He knows he's got better tires. He's got a second on the leader, and he's got 4.3 seconds over third place. So looks like he's going to be sitting on cruise control. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes, it looks like he will end up in victory lane.
Yes, 7 laps to go. Some of these guys back, Brandon Jackson, Robert Mathis in third. Garrett Hall in fourth. Some of them definitely looking for a caution here, I'm sure, because I believe that is the only thing that is going to be able to stop Ricky Hart Jr. from getting a 5th win here tonight in Las Vegas. So going inside of the 32 of Terry Condis, putting him 1 lap down.
So Terry Condis gives him room.
5 laps to go now here at Las Vegas. We go back, 99 of Brandon Jackson in 2nd place. Behind him, the 29 of Robert Mathis. 13 of Garrett Hall. On the outside of the 19 car of Willie Evernham. Willie Evernham, the first car 2 laps down, back in 16th position. Evernham has made 4 stops. The only other driver who has made 4 stops is Nick Nickerson, who is now 1 lap down, all the way back in 12th position. He's definitely gained some spots since he got off pit road, but not much he can do with as long as that last pit stop took him, and having to come in for an extra stop.
Yeah, we're not really sure what happened, but we'll have to find out after the race.
We'll definitely see if we can figure that out. It's now 4 laps to go. Ricky Hart Jr. still your leader. So we head back. Brandon Jackson, Robert Mathis, Garrett Hall, 43 of Tyler Rowland in 5th. 6th, the number 4 car of Trey Ellis. 7th, the 8 of Kevin Foster, who has worked his way up, started 12th. Highest was 4th, all the way down to 17th at one point, now sitting in 7th. 33 of Zach Hillman in 8th. The number 10 car of Matt Crockett in 9th position. And the number 32 car of Terry Condis that you just saw go a lap down. He's your first car a lap down, sitting in 10th. Ricky Hart Jr. still cleanly out front, with now 2 laps to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Bandit Reloaded Racing League Vegas Strong 100. Ricky Hart Jr. now over 2-second lead on Brandon Jackson. The white flag is out, 1 lap to go here at Las Vegas. 99 of Brandon Jackson, over 2 seconds back. No way he can catch Ricky Hart Jr. unless there's some sort of accident here at the end. With that, Ricky Hart Jr. will be your winner, notching his 5th victory here at the Bandit Reloaded Racing League. Your winner yet again here tonight. We'll definitely be on the radio with him in just a second. 2nd place is going to be the 99 of Brandon Jackson, followed by the 29 of Robert Mathis. 13 of Garrett Hall for Trey Ellis in 5th. It's going to round out your top 5. If we look at our results, Ricky Hart Jr., your winner. Brandon Jackson, the 99 in 2nd position. 29 of Robert Mathis in 3rd. Garrett Hall in 4th, and Trey Ellis in 5th. If you'll hang on for just 1 second, we're going to see if we can get some of these guys in the broadcast booth. All right, finishing in 3rd place tonight, the number 29 car of Robert Mathis. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great race from you tonight. Good to see you up front. How did that race feel? How'd it go?
I was just trying to hang on and just trying to save tires as much as you can, but knowing that you wouldn't have enough tires for the whole race, just trying to take those tires and get the best of them and try to get out as far as you can.
What was going through your head there with about 20 to go when you took the lead?
I was I said I'm really hoping that I was so far out ahead that once I got gas, I would come out with the lead, but obviously I was about 2-3 seconds too short on that one. So
All right, good deal. Anybody you want to thank?
Oh, yeah, just appreciate all the other admins. Appreciate all the broadcasts. I enjoy watching them after. HDM Motorsports, a good finish for us guys. So appreciate it.
All right, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us here today. Now in second position, we had the number 99 car of Brandon Jackson. You stayed up front. You had the lead for a while, but Ricky Hart Jr. just overpowered you there at the end.
Yeah, really good strategy I had going. No cautions, which was really good race by everybody out here. What cost me there at the end, man, for like 4 or 5 laps in a row, I got held. I had no clean air. I had 2 lappers side by side in front of me, and it was costing me like half a second each lap. And eventually, when Ricky got out to me, I tried everything I could. I was taking his line away, ran him all the way up to the wall in the front straightaway, but there was nothing I can do. I was hoping those lappers would figure it out, or I would get a little bit more time. That way, when he caught to me, his tires would be a little bit more used up. But it is what it is, man. That's racing.
All right. Well, anybody else you want to thank?
I got to thank Evan. Appreciate you coming out here and broadcasting every week. You too, Brett, for being race director, and Bill for putting on the league along with the admin. So, good hard-fought race. Good job to Ricky, man. He's got another one. I swear. I'm gonna take one of these from him eventually.
Good deal.
Good luck next week, buddy.
You guys have a good one.
All right, and your winner yet again, the number 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr. How's it feel to notch another win?
Oh, man, it feels great. This one was special. This one, I had a bounty on my back. I didn't think I could do it. I was feeling the pressure there for a while, but we pulled it out. The car just felt great on old tires. I was able to, stay in the gas. I think a lot of those guys struggled a little bit on the older tires. And yeah, man, number 5.
Well, once we figured out the strategy there, and once you got on new tires, it looks like you made them pay off. Looks like with your 5th win of the season there, it looks like you're moving very far ahead in points over Nick. Nick had a issue there at the last stint of the race, so it looks like you gained quite a bit more spots. Anybody else you would like to thank?
Materia Tattoo, as always. As far as Nick goes, yes, I saw him have that trouble. I knew he was going to be a contender at the end. I don't want to say I was happy to see him get that penalty, but kind of helped me out tonight. This one was for the Vegas Strong. Matt Crockett put this on. It means a lot to him, and it means a lot for me to go out there and win this one for him, get that $50 for the Vegas Strong GoFundMe. So if anybody out there is listening, want to chip in $1, a quarter, whatever, 50 cents, $50, throw it in there for the Vegas Strong guys.
And that link is in the description of this YouTube live video, the link to Matt Crockett's GoFundMe for Vegas Strong, just so all you guys know. So good luck to you, Ricky. Definitely make sure you stay at the top of that point standing. Good luck next week, buddy.
Thank you, man. Look forward to it. Can't wait. Here we go.
All right, and one more guy that I want to see if I can talk with for a second, see if I can catch up with. Nick Nickerson, can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Hey, didn't finish in the top 3. So far, I've only ever asked the top 3 questions, at the end of the race, but you had a great race, started on the pole. Can you walk us through what happened? What caused you to come in for another pit stop?
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating because I really felt like I was going to win this one. But I don't know, I'm still trying to work it out. I got a unsafe pitting exit, and on my screen, I never touched the white line, and I'm inside the blue line. So I was trying to get somebody else to look at their version to see what iRacing was reporting my car position. That makes sense. So just trying to figure it out. But yeah, that's what happened. I got a 20-second stop and go penalty.
Definitely frustrating. Thank you for coming here in the booth with us and letting us know what happened, because that is one thing that I was definitely wondering through the race, because you definitely had a strong car. Sitting second place in the points, though, I'm sure that you'll be all right. And I expect you to come back and do good next week.
Yeah, well, I'm already down 9 points to Ricky, I think, and it's going to be very difficult to overcome an additional 12 points deficit. But, hopefully he'll crash out one day this season, and I won't, or he'll miss a race or something. That's what I'm going to have to bank on. But anyways, good job to him and Brandon and Brett for finishing top 3. It's a good race.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming in here with us.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, we also have Matt Crockett here in the broadcast booth with us. Matt finished 9th position. We talked to him before the race, but just anything else you want to say about Vegas Strong?
That it's important to me, deep down into my heart. It's awesome. Fantastic race tonight. I mean, green to checkered. I mean, wow. Great job, Ricky. Amazing as always. And congratulations and great job to you, Evan, and good job for the whole BRRL team.
Yes, sir. I'm going to go ahead and pop up on the screen. See if I can find where the button is. I'm sorry. There we go. Bandit Reloaded Racing League on Facebook and on Instagram, BRRL.iRacing. If anybody watching just wants to make sure you follow those. You see Matt, he does a lot for Facebook and Instagram, so I just want to go ahead and pop that up on the screen. If anybody's interested in following those, make sure you do. And to everybody, thank you for joining us. Anything else you want to say, Brett or Matt?
I do want to shout out Evan Wall Media. Please go subscribe. Remember to hit that notification bell to see when we're coming up next Wednesday. I mean, I think we're going to Martinsville, so prayers and cross your fingers.
Definitely appreciate that. Anything else from you, Brett?
I think a lot of things may have been said already. Check out Evan Wall Media on YouTube, as well as good luck to everybody at Martinsville next week.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you guys. And I appreciate anybody watching. Thank you, Brett, for being in the booth with me. And thank you for anybody that's watching. Started out this season a little bit rough as far as the broadcasts go, but we're getting better every broadcast and hope to only continue to get better as we head into future broadcasts. So thank you, everybody.